When you look up the word corner in the dictionary, you should see my picture.
Meet the most prime-time player in NFL history. They said nobody could dominate both ways at an elite level in the modern NFL. They said it was impossible. Deion Sanders flashed that million-dollar smile and said, "Watch me." Seconds. That's all it took him to score a touchdown on his first successful NFL punt return in 1989. In 1992, he played an NFL game in Miami, then caught a flight to Pittsburgh to suit up for a Major League Baseball playoff game the same night.
Deion Sanders continues to be a major player in the 1992 World Series,
becoming the closest anyone has ever come to playing both sports in one day. In 1994, he won Defensive Player of the Year while returning interceptions for a league-leading 303 yards. Meet the most prime-time player in NFL history, the man who didn't just play football, he turned it into an art form, a fashion show, and a cultural revolution. Deion wasn't just a cornerback, he was a lockdown defender who made receivers quit, a return specialist who scored from anywhere, a part-time wide receiver, an MLB outfielder who played in a World Series, and the most electrifying personality the NFL had ever seen. He didn't walk onto the field, he performed. That high step into the end zone? Pure primetime. His swagger wasn't arrogance, it was a promise, and he always delivered. How did a kid from Fort Myers, Florida become the only athlete to play in both a Super Bowl and a World Series? How did he revolutionize the cornerback position forever and change the entire culture of professional sports? This is the story of Deion "Primetime" Sanders, the most electrifying, most unforgettable, most primetime player the NFL has ever seen. Chapter 1. The Rise. Deion Lewin Sanders was born on August 9, 1967, in Fort Myers, Florida. This wasn't Beverly Hills. This was a neighborhood where drugs and violence were daily realities, where kids had to create their own opportunities, where talent was your only ticket out, and where dreaming big was the only way to survive. Deion's father, Mims Sanders, struggled with addiction and left the family when Deion was barely old enough to remember him. His mother, Connie Knight, worked tirelessly to provide for him and his siblings. She cleaned homes, took any job she could find, and instilled in young Deion a relentless work ethic and an unshakable belief that he was destined for greatness. Even as a kid, Deion was different. At 8 years old, he joined Pop Warner football and Little League baseball, and immediately dominated. While other children played casually, Deion competed like his life depended on it. Baseball, football, basketball, track, it didn't matter. If there was a ball involved, Deion was the best player on the field. "I'm going to be famous," he'd tell anyone who would listen. "I'm going to be prime time." In Fort Myers, where most kids' biggest dreams involved avoiding the streets and finding steady work, Deion Sanders was planning his escape route to superstardom. By the time he reached North Fort Myers High School, Deion wasn't just a standout, he was a phenomenon. He earned all-state honors in football, basketball, and baseball.
Dallas, that's the best. Hall of Famers, Deion.
College scouts weren't just interested, they were fighting each other for his signature. Florida State University won that battle, and Deion headed to Tallahassee to play for legendary football coach Bobby Bowden and baseball coach Mike Martin.
There's no doubt about it. Deion, in my opinion, probably the best corner ever been on a college football field. From the moment he came into our camp, it was very obvious there's something special about this guy.
At Florida State, Deion became Prime Time. The nickname wasn't given to him. A high school friend had coined it, and Deion made it his brand, then backed it up on the field every single Saturday. As a cornerback, he was nearly impossible to throw against. Quarterbacks would look at their receivers, see Deion Sanders covering them, and immediately look to the other side of the field. As a punt returner, he was a threat to score every time he touched the ball.
4-2-1, world-class speed. That was the timing.
Over 4 seasons at FSU, Deion recorded 14 interceptions, returned 3 punts for touchdowns, and was a 2-time unanimous All-American. He won the Jim Thorpe Award in 1988 as the nation's best defensive back. But football wasn't enough for Deion. He also played center field for the Florida State baseball team, hitting .331 in one season and showcasing the blazing speed that made him a threat to steal bases at will. He ran track too, competing as a sprinter for Florida State. Professional scouts from both the NFL and MLB were salivating. This wasn't just a two-sport athlete. This was a once-in-a-generation talent who could legitimately star at the highest level in two different sports simultaneously. The New York Yankees selected Deion in the 30th round of the 1988 MLB draft. He signed with them and played minor league baseball while finishing his final year at Florida State. Then came the 1989 NFL draft. The Atlanta Falcons, desperate for a game-changing defensive back, selected Deion Sanders with the 5th overall pick.
Number 5. Falcons, Atlanta Falcons, first-round choice, Deion Sanders, cornerback, Florida State.
Most players would have to choose between football and baseball. Deion Sanders said, "I'll do both," and somehow made it work. The Falcons offered $400,000. Deion countered with $11 million. After a summer-long battle, they settled on $4.4 million. PrimeTime was about to get paid. His NFL debut was the stuff of legend. September 10, 1989, Atlanta Falcons versus the Los Angeles Rams at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, the same dirt field where he'd played baseball for the Braves. Deion Sanders, on his first punt return attempt, bobbled the ball.
Drops the ball!
The crowd gasped, but there was a penalty on the play. Re-kicked. Second chance. This time, Deion fielded the ball cleanly at his own 32-yard line. Seconds later, he was in the end zone. 68 yards, breaking tackles, waving to the crowd mid-return. Touchdown. The NFL had never seen anything like it. PrimeTime had arrived, and he'd just announced himself in the most spectacular way imaginable.
Welcome to the NFL moment was housing that thing on the first game. I dropped it, picked it up, and I can remember going to the mall. I bought 11 Gucci watches for the whole punt return team, and I wrote on the card, every fourth down, I just wanted y'all to know what time it was.
But here's the truly insane part. That touchdown came just 5 days after Deion hit his second career home run for the New York Yankees. He became the only athlete in history to hit a home run in Major League Baseball and score an NFL touchdown in the same week. The legend was born. Chapter 2. The Dominance. Deion didn't just play cornerback, he redefined the position. Before prime time, cornerbacks were defensive players trying to prevent catches. After Deion, cornerbacks became offensive weapons who could change the game in an instant. He had a unique philosophy. If they don't throw to me, I can't make plays. So I have to make them pay when they do. And pay they did. His rookie season in 1989 set the tone. 5 interceptions, over 1,000 all-purpose yards as a returner, and that unforgettable 68-yard touchdown on his first successful touch. But Deion wasn't satisfied with just being good. He wanted to be legendary. He wanted to be so dominant that opposing offenses would eliminate half the field just to avoid throwing in his direction. During his time with Atlanta from 1989 to 1993, Deion became the most feared defensive back in football. He made his first Pro Bowl in 1991 and never looked back. Quarterbacks genuinely avoided throwing to his side of the field. When they did test him, he made them regret it instantly. He had the speed of an Olympic sprinter, a blazing 4.2 speed. He had the instincts of a chess master, and he had the confidence of a heavyweight champion. And he backed up every word of trash talk with lockdown coverage. But here's where Deion Sanders became truly legendary. October 11th, 1992. The day that proved PrimeTime wasn't just a nickname, it was a lifestyle. The Atlanta Braves were in the National League Championship Series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Game 5 with a chance to clinch the series. But there was one problem. Deion also had an NFL game that day. The Falcons were playing the Miami Dolphins in a 1 p.m. kickoff at Joe Robbie Stadium. Most athletes would choose one. Deion chose both. The logistics were insane. After renegotiating his contract to allow postseason baseball, Deion played cornerback in Miami, recording tackles and returning kicks. The Falcons lost 21-17, but Deion had done his job. The moment the game ended, he ran, literally ran, off the field, still in his football pads. He jumped into a waiting helicopter because traffic would make him late, but the helicopter was overweight. Too many people in Deion's entourage, agents, family, a CBS camera crew, Nike representatives. Someone had to stay behind. The pilot refused to fly. They eventually sorted it out, flew to the airport, boarded a private jet, and raced against time to Pittsburgh. Deion needed an IV during the flight to rehydrate from playing an entire NFL game. They arrived at Three Rivers Stadium at 8:28 p.m., just 16 minutes before first pitch. Deion suited up for the Braves. He sat in the dugout. He was ready to make history as the first athlete ever to play two professional sports on the same day. But Braves manager Bobby Cox never put him in the game. The Braves lost 7-1, and Deion never got off the bench. He'd flown across the country, risked everything, pushed his body to the absolute limit, and never played a single inning. Years later, Deion would call it one of the biggest disappointments of his career. But the attempt itself? That became legend. Nobody in modern sports history had ever tried anything like it, and nobody has since. Deion Sanders came closer than anyone ever will. The media couldn't get enough of him. He wasn't just an athlete. He was a brand, a personality, a movement. He released a rap album called PrimeTime in 1994, featuring singles that didn't chart but solidified his larger-than-life persona. He appeared in MC Hammer's music videos. He wore custom jewelry worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. He drove luxury cars and showed up to games in tuxedos. Critics called him cocky, arrogant, and a showboat. Deion called it confidence backed by production. Then came mid-September 1994, the signing that changed everything. The San Francisco 49ers, already stacked with talent and desperate for one final piece to complete their championship puzzle, signed Deion Sanders to a one-year free agent contract. This wasn't just any signing. This was the 49ers adding the most electrifying defensive player in football to a team that already had Steve Young, Jerry Rice, and one of the most potent offenses in NFL history. The league didn't stand a chance. The 49ers didn't just want Deion to play defense, they wanted him to transform their entire secondary into an impenetrable fortress. And that's exactly what he did. Deion Sanders in 1994 put together a season that defied belief and cemented his legacy as the greatest cornerback in NFL history. He recorded 6 interceptions and returned them for a jaw-dropping 303 yards, the most in the entire league that season, and one of the highest single-season totals in NFL history. 3 of those interceptions went for touchdowns, including a 74-yard pick-6 against the Saints,
PrimeTime.
a 93-yard interception return for a touchdown against his former team, the Falcons, and a 90-yard score. He became the first player in NFL history to have 2 90-yard interception returns for touchdowns in the same season. But the statistics don't capture the sheer dominance. Opposing offenses literally wouldn't throw to Deion's side of the field. They design entire offensive game plans around avoiding number 21. When they did throw his way, he'd pick it off and return it for a touchdown while high-stepping into the end zone, taunting the offense, and celebrating like he'd just won the lottery. It wasn't arrogance, it was artistry. The NFL recognized his greatness by awarding him the 1994 NFL Defensive Player of the Year award, the highest honor a defensive player can receive. Deion became only the 4th cornerback ever to win this prestigious award. and he did it while also catching passes as a part-time wide receiver, returning punts and kicks, and maintaining his baseball career during the offseason. Meet the most prime-time player in NFL history, a man who literally played 2 sports at the professional level while winning the most prestigious defensive award in football. The pick that froze the Super Bowl. But the crowning achievement of 1994 came on January 29, 1995, at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. Super Bowl 29. San Francisco 49ers versus the San Diego Chargers. The biggest stage in football. Steve Young threw 6 touchdown passes, setting a Super Bowl record. Jerry Rice caught 3 of them. The 49ers were dominant from start to finish. But in the fourth quarter, with the game already decided and the 49ers leading comfortably, Deion Sanders delivered his signature Super Bowl moment. Chargers backup quarterback Gail Gilbert dropped back to pass, looking to salvage some dignity in a blowout loss. He threw toward the end zone, hoping to put some points on the board. Bad idea. Deion Sanders read the route perfectly. He jumped the pass with the kind of anticipation that separates Hall of Famers from everyone else. Interception. In the Super Bowl. In the end zone. Deion secured the ball and immediately began his trademark celebration, the high step that had become his calling card. He returned it 15 yards, weaving through traffic, showboating even in garbage time because that's what PrimeTime did. The play didn't change the outcome. The 49ers won 49-26, but it showcased Deion's genius on the biggest platform possible. Lockdown corner, game changer, champion. That night, Deion Sanders made history in another way. He became the first and only athlete ever to play in both a Super Bowl and a World Series. In 1992, he'd batted .533 for the Braves in the World Series against Toronto. Now he had a Super Bowl ring. No other athlete in history can claim that distinction. Not Bo Jackson, not Michael Jordan, not anybody. Only PrimeTime. The one-year gamble had paid off spectacularly. Deion's signing instantly became one of the most impactful single-season signings in NFL history. He'd taken an already great team and made them unstoppable, adding the one defensive weapon that made them complete. PrimeTime had officially reached the pinnacle of professional football, but he wasn't done yet. In September 1995, Deion signed with the Dallas Cowboys.
In Jerry's mind, I think he felt that the only way we get back to the Super Bowl is that we take Deion Sanders away from San Francisco and put him on our team.
7 years, $35 million, with a $12.99 million signing bonus. Jerry Jones was superstitious about the number 13. He immediately won another Super Bowl championship in Super Bowl 30, becoming one of the rare players to win back-to-back Super Bowls with different teams. In that game against Pittsburgh, Deion caught a 47-yard pass on offense, setting up Dallas's first touchdown. He also returned a punt and played lockdown defense. He became the only player in NFL history to have both a reception and an interception in Super Bowl games across his career. His 1995 season with Dallas featured 2 interceptions and absolute lockdown coverage that made the Cowboys' defense nearly impenetrable. He made the Pro Bowl again and again. He made the Pro Bowl all 4 years in Dallas, cementing his status as the most dominant defensive back of his generation. Chapter 3. The Legacy. Deion's career didn't end in dramatic fashion. It faded gradually as Father Time remained undefeated. He played 1 season with the Washington Redskins in 2000, then retired for 3 years before returning for 2 final seasons with the Baltimore Ravens from 2004 to 2005. At age 37, in his final season, he still led Baltimore with 2 interceptions. His later years didn't have the explosive highlights of his prime, but even a diminished Deion Sanders was still better than most cornerbacks in their peak. The final numbers tell a story of complete dominance. 53 career interceptions, 1,331 interception return yards, second all-time at retirement, 22 total touchdowns, 8 Pro Bowl selections, 6 All-Pro selections, 2 Super Bowl championships, and the 1994 NFL Defensive Player of the Year award. He was inducted into both the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the College Football Hall of Fame in 2011 on his first ballot, a testament to his undeniable greatness. But Deion's legacy goes far beyond statistics. He changed how cornerbacks played the position. Before Deion, corners were defensive players who tried to stay close to receivers. After Deion, elite corners became playmakers who could score touchdowns and change games in an instant. He proved that defense could be entertaining, that personality mattered, and that confidence backed by elite production could make you an icon. Analysts have joked for years that the best cornerback tandem of all time is Deion Sanders and anyone else, because he made every secondary he joined instantly better. Today, Deion Sanders is the head coach at the University of Colorado, bringing that same prime-time energy to coaching. He's rebuilding programs, mentoring young athletes, and teaching them the same lessons he learned. Believe in yourself, back it up with work, and never be afraid to be great. The swagger is still there, the confidence is still there, the gold chains and sunglasses remain. Primetime is eternal. Deion Sanders didn't just play football, he revolutionized it. He showed an entire generation that you could be the best player on the field while also being the most entertaining. He proved that two-sport excellence was possible at the highest level. And he did it all with a smile, a high step, and an unshakable belief that he was prime time, and prime time was forever. The kid from Fort Myers who scored a touchdown in his NFL debut, the only athlete to play in both a Super Bowl and a World Series. The cornerback who shut down half the field and returned interceptions for 303 yards in a single season. Deion Sanders is the most primetime player in NFL history, and there will never be another like him. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if primetime just became your new favorite player, and subscribe for more legendary football stories every week. Drop a comment with your favorite Deion moment. We want to hear it. End Zone Exposed is where the truth always scores.